In Europe, top defense officials and state leaders gathered in Munich, Germany over the weekend for the 54th Security Conference. The three-day conference saw dozens of top politicians and representatives from NATO, the European Union and the United Nations converging on Munich.
The Munich Security Conference is a major international forum bringing together world leaders, non-governmental organizations and representatives of the media, academia and civil society industry to discuss on current and future security challenges. This is the 54th edition. While delivering his keynote address, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says that the international community needs to come together and keep the pressure on North Korea.
It's absolutely essential to keep the pressure over North Korea and to convince North Korea that it is absolutely vital for them to come to the table and to be able to find a way for this denuclearization, the peaceful denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula to be possible.
Meanwhile, NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg says NATO is increasing the readiness of its forces in response to Russia's new assertiveness in the region, but he warned against starting a new Cold War or arms race.
So what we have seen, especially since 2014, is a more assertive Russia, a Russia willing to use military force against their neighbors, as they have done illegally annexing Crimea and continuing to destabilize eastern Ukraine. And that's the reason why NATO is responding. We are increasing the readiness of our forces. We are increasing the presence in the eastern part of the alliance with battle groups in the Baltic states and Poland, but also in the southeast of the alliance. And we are also starting to invest more in defense.
On the sidelines of the conference, German Chancellor Angela Merkel says a Brexit deal should strike a balance that ensures Britain clearly diverges from the European Union's single market while also keeping close economic ties with the bloc. Ms. Merkel added during a news conference with the British Prime Minister Theresa May that she is not frustrated with the negotiations and that she wants the EU to stick to the Brexit timetable. The British Prime Minister also expressed her readiness to work closely with Germany.
On foreign policy, we already work very closely together, and today, as Chancellor Merkel has referred to, we have reaffirmed our commitment to the Iran nuclear deal and the need for full implementation by all sides that we made in October last year. And we agreed that as we continue to work to preserve the deal, we also share US concerns about Iran's destabilising activity in the Middle East. And we stand ready to take further appropriate measures to tackle these issues.
Britain is hoping to negotiate a Brexit trade deal with the EU that maintains high levels of access to the bloc's single market. But the EU says Britain will lose access if it sticks to its plan to end the free movement of workers from the bloc and no longer follow judgment of the European Court of Justice.
In other news, Oxfam's chief executive, Mark Goldring, says the scale and intensity of the criticism against his organization in the wake of claims that its workers used sex workers in Haiti is out of proportion to its level of culpability. Earlier this month, reports surfaced that during a humanitarian mission in Haiti in 2011, the charity's country director hired sex workers at a villa paid for by Oxfam. The former Oxfam official at the heart of a sex abuse scandal says he made mistakes when working in Haiti, but denied exploiting vulnerable women or abusing minors. One of the world's best-known and biggest disaster relief charities, Oxfam, has been under fire since Britain's The Time newspaper reported 2 weeks ago that some Oxfam staff took advantage of women in Haiti after the country's 2010 earthquake. In his first response to allegations over his conduct, Roland Van Huameren, who ran the Oxfam operation in Haiti at the time, says he does not want to cast himself as a victim, but fears that Oxfam's other aid workers and those they help will suffer from false accusations.
I don't feel good about the people who, of course, are told by perhaps less professional journalists that Oxfam is an instrument to have wild parties using the money from good civilians. That is absolutely not true.
Meanwhile, Oxfam International Executive Director Winnie Byanyima says she has appointed a high-level commission that will look into the charity's culture and practices and ask for any victims of abuse to come forward.
I'm appointing a high-level commission, independent commission, that will look into our culture and our practices and make recommendations to make us stronger at protecting our people. It will also have the mandate to look into past cases and current cases and how we handled them. And if we are asked to reopen them, we are ready to reopen them.
A number of celebrity ambassadors, including actress Minnie Driver and Nobel Peace Prize winner Archbishop Desmond Tutu, have quit as ambassadors for the charity over the allegations. The 2010 earthquake in Haiti killed 220,000 people and left millions more homeless.
Finally on the program, the European Union's top diplomat has raised the prospect of collecting international money in April for rebuilding Syria, but only if Russia compels President Bashar al-Assad to participate in the stalled UN peace talks. The 28-member bloc's foreign policy chief, Federica Mogherini, called on all parties to achieve progress on the ground and return to the negotiating table.
The conference we will hold 24th and 25th of April in Brussels, EU-UN co-chair, will be the opportunity for us to mobilize both political support to the UN-led process and humanitarian aid for the Syrians inside the country and in the region.
And that's Diplomatic Channel this week. Thank you so much for watching. Do remember to send us your questions, comments and suggestions. I'm Temitope Fagbemi. Bye for now.